But the reality is, honestly, it takes so much hard work. I mean, there are nights that still even recently I've gone to bed crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, what else do I need to do? What you need to do with a bad day or when you have something that doesn't go right, just like you need to brush it off, do what you need to do and just keep moving forward. Don't sit there and ponder on that one bad thing that's happened. You just need to keep pushing forward. Sometimes you just need to go for it, whether you're ready or not. If you have the support of the people around you and you're in a financial situation that you can do it, then absolutely go for it. Everything else will fall into place.
Good morning, early birds and future moguls. If you ever wondered whether the successful entrepreneurs start their day a little bit different, welcome to Founders Before 9 a.m., the backstage pass to the secret ritual, mindset hacks, and tiny habits that build loud legacy. I'm your host, Candice, the founder of Miss Morning. And every episode, we will pull up the curtain with some successful entrepreneurs who turned mornings into their powerhouse. Hello, everyone. Today, I have a gorgeous lady with me, Elyse, and she is the visionary founder of UpMake, a makeup and tanning studio based in Double Bay. Welcome, Elyse.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is actually my first podcast.
Exciting. And how's your day unfolding so far?
Oh, it's been a little bit all over the shop, to be honest. I woke up this morning, went to the gym and just did a bit of running around, but it's kind of been a bit all over the shop today.
Right, yeah, because the weather is a bit terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's actually nice to be inside today.
Yeah, so I'm really like to know a bit about your like morning routine, even though you answered a bit, but especially like how you get ready for your makeup and also for your body, for your mind. And yeah, walk us through your typical mornings.
Yeah, look, I try to keep my mornings as quiet as possible. So I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning.
You're a morning person.
Yeah, I fell into this routine only because my boyfriend's a builder.
Okay.
So his alarm goes off every morning at 5 a.m. So whether I want to or not, I'm up.
Yeah.
So I kind of started to utilize that time to my benefit and just using that time to kind of set myself up for the day and just do things to get myself in order. So before the day, the craziness of the day starts at 7 a.m., I'll always keep my phone on Do Not Disturb, even though that doesn't mean I'm not still checking my messages and everything in between, but just having that kind of, I'm one of those people that when I see a message or an email, I feel like I need to reply straight away. It's just kind of having that time to myself to center myself. Obviously being in a makeup studio and doing people's makeup, I speak to sometimes so many, like 10 to 20 people in a day. So I just try to keep it as quiet as possible. I will go to the gym. If it's nice weather, I'll go for a walk outside and try and spend as much time outside as I can. Sometimes I'll read a book. My partner also has his own business as well. So I'll try to cook and clean and do everything as much as I can to set us up for the nighttime so that when we get home, our nighttimes are just as easy as our mornings as well.
Yeah, it sounds like a very productive morning.
I try to be as productive as possible. I can't, like some mornings I get really annoyed when I'm not, but I do really try to be as productive as I can so that when I'm at work and things always happen in business that you're not expecting it to happen. Yeah. So you could think XYZ is about to happen and it just completely snowballs. So by being as prepared as I can in the morning, I just know that I can go into my day clear-headed to say whatever happens today, it doesn't really matter. When I get home, everything's already sorted out for the day.
Yeah, exactly. And what's your get ready routine?
Oh, my get ready routine, look, it's never really the same.
Yeah.
It's always first things first is coffee. Like that is just the first thing. Even without food, I know that they say you're not supposed to have coffee on an empty stomach, but it's usually coffee, grab a banana. Look, there are sometimes even times that I have clients at 4, 5 a.m. in the morning. So when that happens, there's absolutely no routine whatsoever.
Right.
It's pretty much coffee, banana, run out the door and get to the job.
Yeah.
But sorry, what was the question
But
again?
do you like wear like full glam makeup every day or
not every day? Like
yeah.
because I do wear pretty full glam makeup most of the time. When I have the chance not to, I love to not wear as much makeup.
Yeah.
So my everyday routine will I use every day sunscreen. I will put on my eye cream, and I've recently incorporated my Miss Morning gua sha that I love to roll underneath my eye. It's
That's
just so
a great advertisement. Thank you.
No, I actually love it. It's so nice and relaxing. So I'll kind of sit in front of the mirror and use that. Mascara always, that's one thing that I can't go without, and a little bit of concealer. That's pretty much my go-to every day.
Oh, that's very basic, very simple.
I like to keep it simple when I'm not having to wear so much makeup, because I obviously have to be wearing makeup all the time while I'm at work. Well, I don't have to, but I like to. Obviously, it just makes you look a lot more presentable when you're in front of clients.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of showing clients that you got the skill and they are in a good hand.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll even look, I really like your eyeliner. Can I have my eyeliner like that? Or I really like your eyeshadow. Can I do that? So just give them kind of a little bit of an example as well.
Yeah, exactly. And do you have any like tiny habit that is non-negotiable every single morning, no matter like, even though you need to like have a very early clients, but you still do it?
Oh, look, when I have the early clients, there's absolutely nothing really. Yeah. When I don't have the early clients, it's always making our bed, that's for sure.
Oh, that's a very good habit.
I force myself. Sometimes I run out the door and our bedroom is kind of right near the front door and I'll see the bed. I'm like, okay, just do it. It's 2 seconds.
Yeah. But
Coffee,
it's actually really changed the mood, right?
It really does, yeah. And then when you come home and you get into bed, it just feels so much nicer.
Yeah.
Coffee is my number one non-negotiable. That's one thing that I'll always do. Other than that, I don't think there's anything really. I think my mornings are a little bit all over the shop. So
yeah, that's a really, really good morning routine, honestly. So let's rewind the tap to talk about your journey before UpMake. So I know that you actually switched the lane a bit in the between. So yeah, share with us, like, did you study formally for makeup and how did your journey went?
Yeah, so I actually was a makeup artist. I started studying makeup artistry when I was 23 years old. I'm now 35. I was doing makeup for about 5-6 years, and yes, I would have been. Yeah, by the time I got the job, I actually posted on Facebook at the time. I was like, I just finished my makeup course, and a girl that followed me on Facebook replied to my comment and said, "Oh my gosh, I can get you a job straight away. Message me." So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready to start working in a makeup shop. She worked for a pretty big retail makeup company, and I went in for the interview that Thursday and got the job by the Friday. My very first Saturday, they said to me, just come in, you just need to float for the day and just see kind of what goes on. You don't need to be doing any hands-on makeup. It's fine. You can just watch and see what everyone else is doing. Of course, someone calls in sick on that Saturday. So I had a completely booked out column from 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. Wow. Safe to say, I went home bawling my eyes out. I sat in the car and just cried the whole way home. I was absolutely traumatized, but I really got thrown in the deep end there. So I stayed there for 5 years, and then it got to the point where I wanted to start freelancing, working on my own clients, but obviously being in a makeup shop, I had to be there on the weekends when I would want to service my own clients. So I resigned from that job and got a full-time job working in a property company.
Wow, that's a different
complete change. So I was working as a receptionist there, and the company was essentially a startup at the time. Yeah. So they hadn't had a receptionist yet. They just needed someone to kind of fill in a few hours here and there. So I would be there Monday to Thursday working 3-4 hours a day. So it was a bit quite niche, like not that many people would want those little hours, but it suited me perfectly. So I could kind of do that and then focus on my clients on the weekend, and the job wasn't too stressful. So they kind of balanced themselves out really, really well. That job that I kept on not getting promoted, but new roles kept on opening up. So I kept on going into other roles, and I was kind of young. It was my first corporate job. People would be going out for drinks on a Friday, and I'd be having to wake up for work really early in the morning because I'd have a bridal party at 5-6 a.m. So I kind of got out of makeup a little bit and focused on my corporate career, and it was really, really exciting. I absolutely loved it. Then it got to the point where the company that I was working for was actually getting bought out by another company, and I'd been there for 6 years. I was getting a little bit over the corporate life by that point, and I did really, really miss makeup. I recently moved to the eastern suburbs about 2 years ago. I moved in with my partner, and I'd be walking around on the weekends and I just couldn't understand why there wasn't anywhere that you could go to get your makeup done, obviously other than Mecca, but have a really, really lovely experience and just make makeup really convenient for people. Especially being Double Bay, there'll be people that be staying at the Intercon. I would have relatives coming to stay at the Intercon, and they'll say, where can we go to get our makeup done? Yeah. Not a lot of people have access to Instagram, social media, where they can look up makeup artists and know where to go. So I started thinking, I was like, wow, it would be a really, really good idea, I think, to open up a makeup studio and make makeup convenient for people.
Yeah, that's your aha moment.
Yeah. So I would walk around, I'd see all these hairdressers who completely packed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with people going in to get blow dries to go in and get ready on the weekend. So I thought, why can't I just create this in a makeup form? So I knew that my time at my corporate job was coming to an end. I knew that when they were getting bought out by the other company that I wasn't going to be staying on. So I just kept thinking, I knew that the hardest thing would be in Double Bay was to find a space. So I knew that I wanted something ground level. Obviously, I wanted a lot of natural light, being a makeup studio, something that could get a lot of natural light to capture the makeup. So it was actually really funny. It was my last week in the office, and I didn't know it was my last week in the office, but
Oh, you didn't know? You didn't plan to resign?
I hadn't planned to resign yet. I knew it was coming up, but I just hadn't really planned yet. And I was on the phone to one of my girlfriends, and I was walking up Cura Lane, just outside Woolworths, and I just kept walking because I didn't want to go into Woolworths, so I was talking on the phone to her. And I walked up to where my shop is, and I just saw this little red for lease sign with a mobile number on there, and it looked a little bit dodgy, but I went up and I was like, oh, that space is actually really, really cute. So I took a photo of the for lease sign, kept talking to my girlfriend, went into Woolworths, didn't even say anything to her. Then I went back home and I was cooking dinner, and just something kept on telling me, like, contact that number.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, whatever. I contacted the number. It went straight to voicemail. I was like, oh, dodgy. I knew it. Like, it was just a dodgy for lease sign, like, whatever. Anyway, something kept poking at me, like, no, like, contact the number. So I sent a text and I was like, hi, my name's Elyse. I've seen the for lease sign here, blah, 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 blah. Within 2 seconds, I got a response, and the owner said, hi, I'm so sorry, I'm currently overseas, but here's my son's number. He can show you the shop. I'll pass on your details to each other. So I was like, great, spoke to him, worked out that we were going to go meet next Wednesday. So on the Tuesday night, I was in bed with my boyfriend, and I had a meeting with my new manager that I knew exactly how it was going to go. Yeah. And we were lying in bed, and I said to my boyfriend, I said, that's it, I'm resigning. I'm resigning tomorrow. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. And I knew exactly how this lady was going to be like. So I went to the meeting with her at 11 o'clock, and she started saying all these things. And I said, I'm just going to stop you right there. I said, I'm actually resigning. I said, I can't do this anymore. This is it. Within 5 seconds of that meeting finishing, my now landlord sent me a text and said, hey, I'm really sorry. I can't make Double Bay at 3 o'clock today. Is there any chance we could meet a bit earlier at 1 o'clock instead?
Oh, is that after that meeting?
This was right after the meeting finished. Wow. And I was like, I don't have a job. I've just resigned. So of course I can. I jumped on the ferry, went straight back to Double Bay, and I walked into towards the shop. As soon as I saw it in the daytime, because I had never seen it in the daytime yet, I saw this natural light blaring in, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is absolutely perfect. Yeah. In saying that, it was a lot earlier. I didn't even have a business name yet. I didn't even know what I wanted to call the company. I had the idea, and I thought that securing a space would be so much harder than it actually was. Yeah. So by doing that, we went back and forth, got the lease, did all of that, and then within 2 weeks I had signed the lease, but I still had to see my notice period out at my full-time job. So I was going back and forth, working every day. My partner was at the shop doing the fit out. It was like the craziest time now that I think about it. And then I pretty much finished there one day, and Upmake was open the following day, and I jumped straight back into it.
Wow, the whole process is like really quick.
It was so quick, honestly, when I look back at it.
And you didn't well plan yourself, I need to find a place, but it's just suddenly
happened. All just kind of like, having a business is so stressful. But when I look back at that time, I realized that this is what I'm meant to be doing, because everything just flowed. There was never a point where I was like, this is just too hard. I actually can't do this. Everything from the point that I viewed the place, it all just flowed on from there really, really easily. And that's how it all started.
Wow, that's amazing.
When I opened the doors, I actually didn't have one client. I had zero client base because I hadn't been in the industry for so long. A lot of my clients had other makeup artists now. So I was there reaching out saying, I'm back in business. And actually, do you know Rach Wild, the TBH founder? I messaged Rach and I was like, Rach, I'm back. I'm doing tanning again. I used to do her tans before she even started. I think she was just starting TBH when I met her. And she's like, that's it, I'm coming in. So I saw her a few weeks later, and it's crazy how people just kind of came back in after such a long time.
That's amazing. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. It's like just within 2 weeks and everything just settled.
Yeah. And then I was having to go to my full-time job and pretend to be present there. And I'm like jumping on marketing calls in the meeting rooms, and guys are like trying to get in to have actual meetings. I'm like, just 1 second. I'm trying to like set up my business while I'm finishing things up here.
I feel like that new manager, I think she is kind of giving you a subtle push.
It was an absolute blessing. I knew it was a blessing in disguise. I was a little bit salty at the time, but looking back at it, it was the the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you switched to where you're passionate about. But do you notice something, maybe some skills you picked up from previous experience?
100%.
Yeah, and it's really valuable to your current business?
Absolutely. Look, I've always been very business minded. When we were younger, I always used to, it was really funny, I would come up with all these crazy business ideas. I remember once I wanted to start a luggage hire company, for example. I'd kind of always be looking for things, for ways to start businesses. And I'd always send them to my brother and be like, oh my God, I think this is a really good idea. And he's like, I don't think so. So he kind of always put me in line. But yeah, it's funny having that business mindset and then working for a really fast-paced corporate job really kind of aligned things for me. And there are a lot of things that I can look back at and thank from my full-time job that has given me a lot of a really good business mindset.
Yeah. So when you have this idea, when you notice that there might be a market gap in the makeup artists, this market, have you talked to anyone trying to kind of validate this idea?
I did. I spoke to quite a few people, to be honest with you. I spoke to a lot of friends, family.
What did they say?
Everyone said that they thought it was a really brilliant idea. I'm actually really lucky. My old boss's wife is Chrissy Marsh, so she's a very well-known person in the eastern suburbs, and I spoke to my boss and he spoke to Chrissy and she said, I think it's a brilliant idea. Yeah. I'm also really lucky that I have a lot of friends in the area that own hairdressing salons that were able to help and send me a lot of clients from there as well. And I spoke to them and they all said, I think it's something like that would really, really work within the area.
Right, yeah, especially the location. It's really the key.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that the idea would not work in a lot of areas, and there are other areas that I know it will work in as well. But I knew that Double Bay would be the one place that I was wanting to start in.
Yeah,
and I'm also really lucky I have the most supportive partner as well. And he was like, yeah, absolutely, like you need to go for it, and I'll support you in everything with this.
Wow, that's amazing. I wanted to ask one question. Like in Australia, I see a lot of makeup artists there doing freelancing.
Yeah.
Is that because of clients, they are kind of get used to this model, or is that because if we open up a studio, of course you need to invest a lot on renting and renovation, and then people don't want to go to that model?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think a lot of people like the idea of having someone coming to their house and if they're going to an event, not having to leave the house. I think as well as makeup artists, the makeup artists are used to having very low overheads. Their only main overheads are obviously their products, petrol. When you introduce having to pay rent on top of those things, it kind of is really hard for people to kind of understand when you're used to being able to go to someone's house. I mean, I've opened up chairs to rent in the studio, and when you let them know that they need to be paying rent, it's kind of like, well, I can go and make so much money. I can make thousands of dollars on a weekend, and it's basically all mine. Obviously, there's a lot of work that goes into what they do, but I do think that people are just kind of used to having makeup artists coming to their house. And also the thing is as well, not a lot of areas are like Double Bay where people just kind of like to be on foot and they like to walk from appointment to appointment. There's not a lot of areas that have this kind of really nice community where you can walk from your coffee to your hair appointment to your makeup appointment out to lunch at Margaret, which is what I have clients doing at the moment. Yeah. So I think it kind of hadn't really been created yet to make it easy for people in that sense.
Exactly, because I think I shared this one with you.
Yeah,
like in South Korea.
You thought I had. I think you thought I had been there before. And I was like, I've never been.
There are so many makeup studios. It's just as common as hair salons.
Look, to be honest, I was shocked that it hadn't been done before when I did it. But then a few months in, I was like, this is exactly why it hasn't been done, because it is so hard and it is so expensive having these overheads. Sorry, I just cut you off as well.
Yeah, no. I'm saying just like in there, like the culture-wise, it's already become part of the tourism. And a lot of overseas visitors, they book appointment just trying to get that idol kind of inspired look.
Yeah.
So I think in there, it all makes sense, but here, like you said, it's not that common. It's like very new concept, and the people still trying to get used to this model as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So after you launched the studio, like what's the reality like different from what you expected? Anything struggle with that?
Oh my gosh, it is 100 times different to what I expected. I honestly thought that I could have pretty much opened up the doors, reached out to the people that I knew within the area. Yeah. Done an activation, and it kind of, the doors would have been open and that was it. It would be pumping and people would be coming in all the time. But the reality is, honestly, it takes so much hard work. I mean, there are nights that still even recently I've gone to bed crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, what else do I need to do? I mean, I feel like you just can't stop even when things are going well and things are busy. Yeah. The thing that I find really difficult is the creating content. So I could be booked out back to back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but you're not seeing any of that on social media because I choose not to record my makeovers. I would rather give 100% of my attention to my clients. Being a little bit older, it doesn't come as naturally to me to kind of pull out a phone and start recording. And I feel like I am a lot more paying a lot more attention to the camera than I am my client, which I don't want to be doing. Yeah. So I then find that I'll look at my social media and I'm like, oh, people would look at this and think, oh my gosh, no one has even been here because she hasn't posted for 2 weeks. So then it's kind of getting, whether it's influencers or girls that you know, to come in and have their makeup done and then recording it and then posting the content. That's something that I really struggle with, is kind of showing up online. Yeah. Something that kind of really actually helped is starting to put myself behind the brand, which was something that I had never really planned to do. But I had girls coming in, even Leah from Girls with Gems, when she came in, she was like, if I knew that I was speaking to you when we were emailing back and forth, I would have been so much more inclined to come in. Yeah. So as I was saying, that's when I was like, do you know what, I just need to do it. And once I had done it, I was fine. But yeah, it's kind of just being present on social media is something that's...
Yeah, exactly. I feel like nowadays people, like you said, everyone is on social media and it's kind of like social proof. Even though like sometimes people kind of don't know who you are or what kind of business you're running, but as long as they say like you are the owner behind the business and you are kind of present yourself in the videos, and then they connect with you as a human being rather than a studio.
Any reels that I've posted with myself behind, oh my gosh, when I look at the insights on them, they do 5 times as well as any of the kind of makeup content. I feel like makeup content is quite saturated. There is a lot of makeup content coming out all the time. And I feel like when people kind of see a face behind, especially a makeup brand, they really like it.
They're gonna remember you.
100%.
And I think that's a good like positioning of the brand as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
People naturally connect yourself with the brand.
Yeah, it's actually really funny as well. A lot of my clients are kind of in that middle age range, 40s, 50s, 60s. And I thought, why don't I start to target the content that I'm creating towards this audience. So I said to my mum, that's it, Mum, you need to come in and I need to do your makeup, and we need to post some content of you, of mature women, because that is a lot of my client base. So I got Mum to come in. She was really, really nervous. My mum is just the cutest. She's so sweet. And she's sitting behind the camera, obviously doesn't really know what she's doing. And that also went really, really well as well. And I had women coming in the next day saying, thank you so much for posting content that's actually age appropriate to people like us. Yeah. And it worked really well. And they booked appointments all out to the end of the year. So
oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, like you said, that put yourself out there. It's not an easy thing at the beginning, but you will get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, still, don't get me wrong. There are days that I try to film content by myself, like just getting ready, and I'll look back at it and I can't even tell you how many videos I have in my phone that I will just never post because I just really...
And I think it's a really good idea to really have some matured woman to be the model, because for me, I feel like makeup artists are doing their makeup. It's pretty much for like a model or influencers. It's like naturally thinking that way, but now it's more accessible to everyone. And I think it's the vision that why you create this studio rather than open to everyone in the suburb.
Yeah. 100%. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And I checked the website that you create a very tight like menu. You only offer like 4 service. So talk about how you like the thinking behind that, how you design that.
Well, I've actually just recently introduced also an express service as well, only because there was so much demand for it. So originally I did want to keep it very kind of short and sweet, but I was getting a lot of questions about asking if I could introduce an express service, and now that's kind of probably one of my most booked services. I'll have people coming in just to go out for a lunch at Margaret. They'll get their hair done, come and get their makeup done, and they don't want lashes, they don't want anything like too much makeup. They just want a really nice base, some soft eye makeup, some lipstick, just so they can go out to lunch.
Very trendy, actually.
Yeah. Also, I've had women coming in that are presenting I had a lady last week that was presenting at a legal conference, and she was like, I want it to look like I've almost just done my own makeup. I'm horrible at doing my own makeup. Can you make it look like I've done my own makeup? Just make me look presentable, because I'm going to be talking in front of a room of 200 people.
Wow.
So introducing that service has really helped a lot. I didn't really like doing it that much at first, but then when I saw that there was obviously a need for it, I was happy to introduce it. But then, the full glam service is pretty much, that's just basically your standard makeup with full lashes and everything. Then that's what I'll mostly get booked out on the weekends when people are going to a wedding or an event or something like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be introducing lessons soon as well. I'm getting a lot of questions for one-on-one lessons as well. So that'll be the next thing.
Yeah. And how did you land on pricing?
I wanted to make, as far as pricing, I wanted to make pricing affordable for people so that they could make it as convenient for themselves, so that it wasn't just for a special occasion. A lot of girls do charge upwards of $200, and that's rightly so. But I knew that I wouldn't get as many bookings. I would rather be booked out 10 people a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, because you don't need to commute from one location to the other.
That's exactly right. Whereas if I was priced at that $200 price point, people would most likely only be coming in when they do have a special occasion, because they would think I'm not going to spend, $200 just to go out and get my makeup done just to go to lunch. So by keeping it at that kind of lower price point, I'm able to pretty much book myself out all day on the weekends and Fridays and everything as well.
Yeah, and I think that exactly match with your positioning as well, to make it more accessible to everyone. It's more affordable. It's more reasonable. Yeah, and how long will be a full glam makeup?
Look, Double Bay has tested me. I book out my appointments for 1.5 hours, my full glam sessions, but I'm really lucky if I can have someone sitting in my chair for 1.5 hours. Even my express sessions are booked out for an hour, but I think I've got probably 45 minutes, sometimes even 45 minutes for the full glam sessions.
Oh, that's not bad. That's really
I've had to really pick up my speed. I did like to take my time and kind of go over everything, but I've had to kind of work out ways to pick up my speed and make it quickly. Because everyone's in a rush in Double Bay. No one has time to waste.
Right, yeah. And how much time buffer between each appointment?
I have 10 minutes, a 10-minute buffer in between.
Only 10 minutes?
Yeah.
What if the clients, they're kind of late?
Well, then that cuts into their appointment time. So say an appointment's booked out in 1.5 hours. If they are running 10, 15 minutes late, that's usually fine. But if anything over that, I'll usually just say to them, look, we can probably only do eyes or base or just a quick express makeover. I never want to turn anyone away, but it's unfair, obviously, if the next client comes and then I'm still doing this person's makeup because they've decided to run late and then the next person's come on time. They're not going to appreciate then having to get to their event late because the person before them was late.
Yeah, exactly. And
I haven't had to do that yet, so I would feel really bad having to do that. Most people are really good. If anything, most people come early.
Yeah.
And that sometimes is even harder because they're sitting there waiting, and even though you're running on time, you have someone sitting there waiting and you kind of feel like, I need to hurry up and get this done. But you look at the time, you're like, I'm actually fine for time.
Yeah. So walk us through a great appointment, like how the flow goes from the booking to maybe follow-up, email, and on the day, it's a little bit like chatting before the makeup and body tan.
So look, a great appointment is when someone comes to their appointment with no makeup on. That's also another thing that really cuts into people's appointment time. I understand obviously sometimes people are coming straight from work and whatever, but sometimes people come in with, waterproof mascara on because they've just come from work, and then we have to sit there kind of obviously cleansing and taking everything off to start from a really fresh base. And then it is always really lovely. I have an automated service on the website that once people have come in for their appointment that they can leave a review. And it's really nice, obviously, usually on Sundays. So if their appointments, someone's had an appointment on a Saturday, they'll get the follow-up on the Sunday. And it's really nice sometimes reading the follow-up messages from the people to say how much they love their appointment. It's something on a Sunday that I love reading after a busy weekend.
Yeah. What do you find the details that customer most like about? Is that
I think the main thing that they like is the experience, just having a really nice experience and being able to come in and have a chat and have a conversation and not being surrounded by loud, blow dryers or music or anything like that. And it's just a really nice, relaxing experience. Sometimes going to people's houses isn't actually that relaxing for them. Yeah. They might have, I've been to situations before, I've had to go to a hotel room, for example, and a whole family staying there. And their child's doing this, someone else is doing this.
It's so destructive.
Yeah, and they're like, stop doing this. Or can you make sure, saying to their husband, can you iron your shirt? Can you do this? And when they're at home as well, they're constantly thinking, did I vacuum upstairs or did I do this? Whereas when they come into the shop, they really like that they can just kind kind of switch off for that hour and then go back to doing what they were doing earlier, not feeling like they're just kind of all in the one place.
Yeah, yeah. And they also have the reserved parking.
The reserved parking, yeah.
Which is absolutely good.
Yeah.
I read a comment on your website that people saying doing the makeup in your shop and then doing hairstyle next door. It's such a genius synergy.
Yeah, and it's really funny. I actually didn't know Jess, who's the owner of Blow Dry Boutique, before I opened the shop. I was really lucky. Chrissy actually introduced me to Jess, and Jess is just the loveliest person, and she actually has my business cards in the shop, and she sends me so many clients. So it's great. They go and get their hair blow dried, and then they literally just walk down, come and get their makeup done, or vice versa, and we just work really, really well together. And so it's been really, really lucky. I actually didn't even realize how close we were when I opened up the shop. So having her pretty much next door has been an absolute blessing.
Yeah. Once you mentioned this, I really wanted to highlight because I feel like you are really a person that willing to offer help and willing to collaborate with different industry, different people. And in your word, what's the most quality that you find is define yourself and also define your business?
The quality within myself?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think sometimes it's actually to my detriment how much I kind of want to make sure that everyone is happy, to the point that if I think someone was a little bit off when they left their appointment, or if I wasn't sure if they were 100% happy, I'll be thinking about that for the next week.
Oh my God.
And so it's not, I had to kind of let go of that, because I would say, for example, see 50 people in a week and 49 of those people would be happy. And then that one person that I thought was a little bit off, I'm like, oh, I don't know. When they left, I wasn't sure if they were 100% happy because I just want to please everyone. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make everyone happy when you're seeing so many people. Yeah. So I kind of I would get into bed at night and I'll be like, saying to my boyfriend, he's like, you can't keep doing this to yourself, because at the end of the day, not everyone is going to like you, and that's nothing wrong with you, but that's just life, and that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's just this, it is a good thing, and it is really nice. And I genuinely, anyone that walks through my doors, I want the absolute best for them. And, even if sometimes I even tell my clients, if you're doing your shopping in Woolworths, you can come park your car here, even if you don't have an appointment. And like, what are you talking about?
You're such a nice person.
I just think that's,
Yeah. So, I really wanted to know, how do you balance that high standard with sustainability? Because I feel like you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and you always wanted to have that peak performance on every single one.
Yeah.
But obviously that's going to be even sometimes you will feel overwhelming. You will even feel burnout. So
absolutely.
Yeah. How do you balance that out?
Well, I actually wasn't balancing it out very well. And that's when I realized I need to do something about this. Otherwise I'm going to burn myself out so quickly. I'm not even a year into the business. I think I'm just about 8 months in, and I was already starting to feel that way just because of that energy that I was putting on myself. So I actually recently signed up for the new Virgin Gym at Bondi, and I've just found that I was really slacking off on my exercise. I absolutely love exercising, but I was putting my business first and not really worrying about myself, so that I would get to the shop at 6-7 o'clock in the morning to clean and everything, then have clients, and then I would just be stuck there till late at night, and then I'd be that exhausted, I'd go home and sleep. And I just kind of fell into this routine of not really prioritizing myself. Now that I have kind of signed up to the gym, and I just make sure that once a day, whether it's doing a Pilates class, walking on the treadmill even for half an hour, they've got a really good infrared sauna and everything like that, even if it's just sitting in the infrared and kind of using that time to just clear my head and exercise. I feel like that's something that really helps. And also my mornings, of just making sure that my mornings are as quiet and stable and stress-free as possible, just to kind of help clear my head and not put that pressure. I just feel like then I'd be spiraling if my mornings were a bit chaotic, and I was putting that kind of pressure on myself as well.
Yeah. And have you found after being a founder, being an entrepreneur, this whole journey, even it's not that long, but does that really change your life or even your personalities?
Absolutely. I would not change anything for the world. The stress, everything about it. I feel really, really aligned with myself more than I ever have. And I'm 35 years old, and I've obviously had multiple jobs. I've never worked for myself, but I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I've never ever felt more connected and aligned with myself and what I should be doing.
Wow, that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why this journey can be so, even it's stressful, but it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's, I feel like I did Rebecca Valance's makeup the other day. She's absolutely beautiful. And we were talking a lot about business. She's like, ask me anything you want about business. I'll talk to you about anything. I was like, I'm so nervous doing your makeup right now. I can hardly speak.
I saw the picture the other day.
Yes, I'm having to I wanted to do an amazing job of her makeup. And then she's so lovely talking to me about business and everything. And she said to me, it's 5 minutes good, 5 minutes bad. If you get more than 5 minutes of good, then it's a great day. You just need to kind of roll with the punches and take it as it is. And when you do have those bad moments, she said, what do you do when you eat toast and you get breadcrumbs on yourself? I was like, just get rid of them. She goes, that's exactly right. And that's what you need to do with a bad day, or when you have something that doesn't go right. She's like, you need to brush it off, do what you need to do, and just keep moving forward. Don't sit there and ponder on that one bad thing that's happened. You just need to keep pushing forward.
That makes sense. Yeah. Where did that happen? Like, where did she hold that masterclass? Is that in?
Oh, no, she just came into the shop and had her makeup done.
Oh,
no,
really?
This is just her and I talking pretty much like you and I are now while I was doing her makeup. So a friend of hers referred her to come in and get her makeup done. And yeah, this was just one-on-one, pretty much like this exact same scenario. I was just having to do her makeup as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. She's a really, really lovely lady.
I think this is a really good validate that why you opened the studio. It really works, right?
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I do get a lot of amazing, even like Sophie Hood, Roxy Jasenko, a lot of amazing business women that have come through my doors, and I have been able to talk to them. And I mean, poor Rach Wild, when she's come in, because I do have a relationship with her, I feel like I'm like asking her a million questions about business. So I do get to talk to a lot of other women, like female business founders as well, and get a lot of information. Like, they just love talking about it as much as I do. So I am really lucky in that sense.
Yeah. So are you naturally a people person, like waiting to talk to people?
I am I always have been. My mum actually jokes with me. She used to own a clothes shop when I was a lot younger. I was pretty much a baby. And she said that she used to have a little cot out the back for me. And whenever people would come in, I'd kind of jump up and say hi and try to talk to everyone that walks in the door. So she said, this is just made for you because you've always kind of been like that. And I have always been a really warm, friendly person. And I do love talking to people.
Wow.
I do go home though some days and I say to my boyfriend, I can't talk anymore.
Okay.
So at night I'm really quiet.
Talk a lot during the day.
But otherwise I love talking to people during the day.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, like, for makeup, that you always have this hand-on service to every client. Did you give yourself a certain standards that you wanted to make sure you serve to everyone? They're kind of happy with what they're, because I feel like everyone, if they're looking for a makeup artist, they probably wanted to tailor according to their face shape or their features, or they maybe show you a photo like, I like this, can you replicate that for me? So different requests, how you handle that well?
I think it all comes down to communication, to be honest with you, and speaking to the person and really breaking down exactly what they want. There are times that people will show me a photo and I will have to kind of communicate to them that we can definitely do this, although this person's eye shape is completely different to your eye shape and it's not going to look the same way as it does on this person. It probably won't even really suit you that much. So I think kind of talking through each step with the person, and when you know that someone's a little bit uncertain, and just kind of reading the room and seeing how they're feeling, kind of asking, hey, are you happy with this? Do we want to make it any darker, any lighter? And just really communicating with the person, asking what they do and don't like about makeup. I kind of feel like whether I'm talking to someone about day-to-day things, I'm always talking in a makeover, because I'm always checking it as I go along the way if they're happy with how things are going. I think that's probably the main key to a good makeover.
And you mentioned that you always have a follow-up, ask their feedback.
Yes, so I think that's an automated thing that comes from my website. Okay. So it'll kind of send out an email whenever anyone's made an appointment online to say, how's your experience?
Oh, amazing. And let's zoom out a bit. For the next maybe 5 years, what's your big vision about the business? Like, where you want it to be, and what's your own definition of success?
It's actually really funny. It wasn't even anything to do with coming on the podcast today. I was speaking about it with my partner a few weeks ago, and I was walking past a news agency and I picked up a Forbes magazine. And I said to my boyfriend, I said, I'm going to be on the cover of Forbes magazine one day.
Wow.
So that's definitely a goal of mine. I would really love to expand Upmake. I've got a few locations in mind of where I will be opening Upmake next.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're going to do like a whole chain of the makeup studio?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So it's definitely not going to be just in one location. I do have quite a few areas in mind at the moment. I went and had a look. Obviously, it's very, very early days, but I'm always kind of thinking about what's next. I feel like you have to in business. You can never just stay stagnant where you are. You always need to keep moving on to the next thing. So yeah, I think in the next few years I would love to have multiple Upmake studios.
Wow, I can't wait to see more stores open.
Fingers crossed.
It's
I
going to
would
be amazing. I'm sure you'll definitely get there.
I hope so.
Yeah, amazing. So to wrap up today's conversation,
Has it already been 45 minutes?
I think so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking for
Time
5
flies.
minutes.
Yeah. The last one advice, if you wanted to give to maybe the makeup artists, they just start in this, maybe they're doing freelancing or maybe they have this big dream someday they could have their own studio like you. So what's the one advice you wanted to give to them?
Look, it might sound really cliche, but like with what I said, what happened to me is that I kind of just jumped straight in. I was not ready. I did not have a business name when I started, to the point that when my landlords made up my lease, I sent it to my uncle who's a solicitor, and he called me straight away and he's like, who are these donkeys that you're dealing with? The lease is made out to your personal name. And I was like, yeah, that's because I don't have a business name. He's like, what are you talking about? How have you signed a lease for a business and you don't even have a business name? He's like, you've got till tonight to come up with a business name so we can put it on this lease, and it needs to be made out to a business name. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is sometimes you just need to go for it, whether you're ready or not. If you have the support of the people around you and you're in a financial situation that you can do it, then absolutely go for it. Everything else will fall into place for you, like it did with me with when I went to have a look at the shop. From then on, everything really just fell into place. If it's what you're meant to be doing, everything will 100% work out for you exactly how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just don't ever really wait for the right time, because there might not ever be a right time, and you might miss that opportunity that came forward for you, and yeah, you'll probably regret it for a while. So my advice to anyone is, if you can, just go for it.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you
as
so
cliche
much.
as it might sound, I wish
It's
someone.
really practical, and you prove it.
Yeah. I'm saying this only because it's exactly what I did and it worked.
Yeah.
So I hope that the same for anyone else as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. I really like it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. And if anyone wanted to book a session with you, then how would they find you?
The best way is on my website. It's www.upmake.com.au, or my Instagram is upmake_db.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, so did I. Thank you.
Thank you. If you find it's useful, if you find you need to rethink about your own routines, please share it with a friend as a morning boost, and subscribe, leave a review. That could help us a lot, and we will see you in the next one.